Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's JR. You are checking out another edition of the JR Sport Brief. Shout outs and much love to the folks at DeVry. I've partnered up with them to bring you a 3-time world champion in women's wrestling, and she's on her way to Rio here in 2016. It's Adeline Gray. Adeline, how are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me.
Well, thank you for being here on the JR Sport Brief. First of all, where can people keep up with you online and all the things that you're up to?
You know, I'm on social media all over, so everything's just my name, Adeline Gray. So Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, find me on there. I'd love if people could follow my journey.
And that's Gray with an A. You see,
Gray to gold.
I love it. There's a lot of rhyming. Me and you should start a rap group soon.
You know, maybe.
You're gonna show me some moves now?
Yeah. I think, are you ready for that? Are you warm?
Should I be, am I warm?
I think you need to be a little warm.
Is that when they start shaking you out?
Yeah, you start shaking you out, do a little jogging. We'll have to, we could start with some basics. How about that?
I hope I'm warm. FYI, I'm tensing up because I don't know what's getting ready to happen. So there we go.
So the first thing we do is we grab the wrist and we come up and do an overhook.
Right.
From here, I'm going to reverse my grip so I can punch his hand into the chest.
So that way you're basically punching me without punching.
Absolutely.
But you can't do in wrestling.
And then I'm going to put my hip. Right. So hip position is really important. So I'm going to put my hip right in between your legs here.
And then I'm going that way.
You are, yeah. First, what I'm going to do is get your weight over my hip here and get you to push into me. And once I get you to push into me, I'm going to take a step, almost like a shovel, and I'm going to step my foot down and then pull this to the mat. Right. So from here, you would trip over my hip, I would let you go, and I would get on top from there. Right. And that would be a 2-point score.
I'm cooked. That's 2 points right there.
Yeah, that's 2 points.
So when did you start wrestling? It was a little from your dad, right?
It was. I was 6 years old. I was just a little kid.
6?
Yeah. Very little, and my sisters, I have 3 of them, and so my dad wanted us to do something he knew and loved, so he got us into wrestling.
That's awesome. Were there any points along the line where dad was just like, okay, Adeline, you can't be doing that to your sister on the floor, then you gotta take it easy?
I think that happens more now. Our couch is a little broken because I keep launching my sisters onto the couch. I'm like, Dad, I learned a new move, want to see it? And I just take each sister and throw them, and so it's really fun. They're really used to it, though.
Well, is that couch also plated in gold? It should be. It should be just like a metal, like anything else should be plated in gold, right?
I actually think it's been like well hit, so it's a little like the stuffing's kind of been moved in certain areas just because I've thrown them too many times on the same side of the couch. So I think we should probably mix it up.
Now you've partnered up with DeVry. Why is education so important to you, especially for someone who's out there competing for gold and wrestling? Why is education important?
It's so important. I mean, I think that's something that's been instilled in me since I was a child. You know, education really needs to come first before sports. And when you get to an elite level, that transition kind of changes. You kind of end up in a position where you're like, okay, I can be an athlete first and a student second, but that second piece is still very vital. And DeVry was able to come in at the right time, and their flexibility with their classes and everything made it so that I could train and be an elite athlete and pursue my dreams. And
flexibility, that has to be important. How often are you training?
We train all the time. It's my full-time job. It's an everyday thing. So everything I'm doing is for my sport. I'm making sure that I'm committed day in and day out. Practices are twice a day, every day, and we have Sundays where we kind of down times, but that's about it.
That's cool. So flexibility in getting that degree was important.
It was. I couldn't have done it without him, honestly. They were just the teachers and the students and everyone was very, very understanding of my situation when I had to travel or when I had to go out and have kind of like a different schedule, but they do that for all their students. So I really didn't feel like I was being inconveniencing anyone. And so that was something I really appreciated, that I got to feel a little normal in kind of like my unnormal life.
Well, everything is normal. You're a normal human being.
I'm traveling the world. I'm gone like 200 days a year, so I don't know if that's very typical for most students.
That's great, and everything nowadays, we live in a digital world, online, and you're on your way to Rio, and you actually just graduated in February, right? And what did you get your degree in?
I got my degree in business with an emphasis in technical management, so it was all online, and I loved it. I have projects that I'm going to use for the rest of my life that I learned there, and friendships and classmates that I really connected with and got to kind of take my education to the next level. I really feel like I learned a lot, and I was actually doing homework in Rio back in January.
Wow,
and I've taken classes and had to be in Cuba and all over Europe, so It just, the ability to take my computer and be able to still get the same education that I would be sitting in my dorm room really made it an awesome experience.
So let me ask you this. Has there or was there anything, a principle in wrestling that you were able to apply to school?
I think there's a lot of them. I think it's just that tenacity that you have to have about,
Like
you know, a lot of times you don't want to do whatever you're there to do, you know, in practices, whether it's the sprints at the end or the sprints at the beginning, you know, maybe it's just taking you some time to get into it. But it's about kind of that delayed gratification, getting the work done when you need to do it, and then having that delayed gratification of like, I got my A at the end of the semester. I'm really glad I did that. You know, being on Dean's List was important, or whether or not it's pushing through those extra sprints and being like, now I wasn't tired at the end of that match. So great, now I get to push a little bit more and score more points at the end.
That's cool. Shout outs to the people at DeVry getting the job done. Now you got flexibility to actually go out there, compete, enjoy Brazil, going back and get that gold. They are an official education provider of Team USA. Shout outs to everybody going out to Rio. And if you guys want more information, you can click the annotation, you can go in the description below, or you can go to devry.edu. Oh, jeez. It's a world champ right here. Don't spin, don't do it. You can spin, right?